because you know that receipt that you should have gotten when you made that purchase, or you're getting some sort of alerts or things of that nature. And if you don't have that set up on your credit card or on your debit card, you should, because that is highly important for you to have, so that way it keeps you in the loop of things. But that utilization is something that you can easily overcome within a 30-day time frame. Sometimes if you go beyond this amount and your utilization is high and you're carrying high utilization over month after month after month, your credit score is going to be down. All right, so you want to make sure that you're below 30%, not 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 every month. You want to be below 30%. And hopefully to get that 800, you really need to be at 0. All right, so let's take you to the next step. The next step would be payment history. Now, payment history is actually pretty interesting, because payment history, literally, you have to be really on your game, because if you're not, what'll wind up happening is you can miss one payment, or if you only have one card and you miss a couple of payments off of that one card, then chances are your payment history percentage is going to be really crappy. Because at the end of the day, the more cards that you have equals the more history that you're going to have. So again, those of you that don't have any credit built up and things of that nature, that's going to affect you most, because you don't have any history. Those of you that have a lot of history and that have a lot of cards, then it's probably going to affect you less, because you have more history. But let's go through it. So the formula says on-time payments minus the misses per month divided by the total amount of payments in a 12-month period. So you have one card, and in that one card you made 9 on-time payments out of the 12. 9 divided by 12 is 75%. That percentage is going to be very terrible, right? Very terrible. Yeah, that's a word there I just made up. But it's going to be terrible, okay? You don't want to be there. Now, if you had one card and you made 12 on-time payments divided by 12, that's 100%. So as you can see, according to the chart that I actually put up earlier today, or earlier the other day, with the formula in there, you don't want to be in here. Missed payments over the history of time are going to affect you the most. Quite frankly, if you had, let's say, if this number was a 36 and you had 24 divided by the 36, you'd probably be somewhere in the 90s, right? And you want to be, your history, you want to be closer to 100% never missing payments. Now, I know that this is a difficult thing for a lot of us out there, because, life happens and you wind up missing payments. Well, you can't. Not if you want an 800 credit score. You can't miss no payments within a whole year. Sometimes even longer than that. When I really break this all the way down, you literally can't have any missed payments, like ever. Like if you really want to get an 800 credit score. Next thing I want to talk about is the average age of accounts. Now, this is important, right? Because a lot of us out there that never established credit before don't really have our information in the system. But if you do, and you got additional signers, and your parents helped you out, and they put you on their card, or you had a loved one or a spouse or a family member, and they hooked you up, then that's probably going to help you out best. But as you can see here, here's the formula. The age per card divided by the total amount of cards. Not that difficult. Quite frankly, basically all you're doing is adding up the average age of every card. So for example, I have my first card, I had it for 3 years. My second card, I had it for 4 years. My third card, I had it only for 2 years. 3 plus 4 plus 2, that equals 9, right? Check my math right there. 7 plus 2, that's 9. Right? Divided by 3, obviously, 9 divided by 3, and that's kind of an awkward looking number there, but average is 3 years. So literally, and you'll see through the chart, if in order for you to get an 800 credit score, You want to have your accounts open for at least 9 years. So again, this is very important because a lot of people think, well, I just opened up my card. Why isn't my score, 700, 800? Well, you ain't had it open long enough. That's why, right? FICO looks at you having a credit history for over 9 years. 9 years for you to have a 800 score. So if you're not in the system and you haven't been paying on time and your utilization is high, chances are you're probably not going to have no 800 credit score. You might not even have a 700. So, example, once again, 3 years based off of the example, average age of accounts. These are quite important. Again, FICO formulas, utilization, credit utilization, payment history, on-time payments, average age of accounts, all important. Lastly, let's take a look. Total amount of accounts that you need to have in order to get that 800 elusive score. I know this may sound pretty ridiculous to have 21 accounts, but literally you need over 21 accounts reporting on your credit in order for you to get that elusive 800 score. Sounds crazy, but I didn't make up the FICO score. Someone else made it up. The people made it up, and I just dived into the formula, try to figure it out, and that's what it takes. 21 accounts. Sounds crazy, but that's the formula. Next thing we want to talk about is inquiries. Now, a lot of people have a hard problem with inquiries. I get a lot of folks calling in and talk about, can you remove inquiries? Yeah, we can move inquiries, but let me just tell you, just give you a little bit of insight. For all those that have, 20 and 30 and 40 and 70 inquiries out there on their credit. Here's the thing. You need to understand that there's hard inquiries and there's soft inquiries. Now, hard inquiries are anything where you're actually trying to establish getting some money from someone. So if you're applying for for a credit card, a car loan, which are infamous for putting thousands of hard inquiries on your credit, be careful of that. But then anything that you're applying to actually obtain some credit from someone, that's going to be considered a hard inquiry. A soft inquiry is like, a utility bill or, maybe a job or something checking on you, maybe a rental agency checking on you. That's going to be considered a soft inquiry. Soft inquiries don't affect you. Hard inquiries do. But here's the thing on it. Inquiries only stay on your credit for 2 years. After 2 years, they actually fall off. But check this out. 1 year after they put the inquiry on your credit, it stops affecting your score. So all those people out there thinking that your credit score is jacked up because you got all these inquiries, no. Your credit's probably jacked up because of the other stuff I just put on there, which is like utilization, payment history, and things of that nature. That's probably why your score is jacked up. And you want to make sure that if you're starting out early, for those of you that don't have any credit, this could be a very easy way for you to obtain that 800 score. Because if you start out early and young, those that don't have any credit, wham, you could apply for, up to 21 cards in the first year. Yeah, your credit score is going to look kind of jacked up a little bit because you got all these inquiries on there. But after a year, they won't even affect you anymore. Long as you maintain your credit cards and your balances are very low, your utilization is low, and when it comes to your payment history, you want to never carry a balance. You want to pay your bills down all the way down to $1, at least $1 on your cards, on every card per month. Don't go over that. Chances are you're going to have some very good credit. But literally, it takes an average of 9 years to even get an actual 800 score. So 9 years to get an actual 800 credit score is a very long time. It's kind of like baking a cake and you got to wait 9 years to actually eat it. I mean, that's how elusive that 800 score is. But, for those of you out there that wanted to know about it, this is my video on it. And I really appreciate you guys taking a look. I know it kind of ran a little bit more than the 7 minutes I actually talked about, but that's because sometimes I'm just a little bit talkative. But at any rate, hope that you guys enjoy your day. Be blessed. Take care. And again, if you need help with your credit, feel free to call me. I'm at 888-411-2141. or you can go online at creditsmash.net and check me out. And I'll be at a state near you. Take care.